Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacey and I am a Chicago homemaker, housewife, and new stay-at-home mom. I'm living the dream. In this video, I'm going to be talking about postpartum. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching. So I wanted to do a quick video to just talk a little bit more about postpartum. I've gotten a question about it, and someone was just like, can you just talk about it a little bit more? And I want to make the distinction between when I'm referencing postpartum versus postpartum rage, postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, because they're actually all different things. Because I think I say it a lot. I think I say, oh, you know, I'm postpartum and it's a lot. I'm postpartum and it's a lot. And I just want to make it a little bit more clear as it relates to that. Our girl is getting so big and so chunky, and I'm so delighted about it. Like, you have no idea how happy it makes me. But okay, I'm going to lay her down just so I can talk about this. So in general, what postpartum is a period of time after birth. And I say a period of time because the literature says different things about potentially what it could be. Some people say postpartum is the first 6 to 8 weeks immediately following giving birth. Some people say that postpartum can last anywhere up to a year, up to 2-3 years. And I think we get into I don't know if she's gonna let me do the video. I think we get into a little bit of nuance around when postpartum is, because it depends on how people define it. And the way that I define it and the way that my doctor and our pediatrician is defining it is my postpartum period is going to be the period after birth up and until I stop breastfeeding. And the reason why me and my medical team are defining it as that is because we are defining it based on the hormonal component, not just the physical healing component. So for the people who define postpartum as like those first 6 to 8 weeks after giving birth, it's usually more so associated with the biology of healing the uterus and having that sort of stuff get back together. For the people who define it a little bit longer than that, it tends to have to do with the hormones and this idea that it takes anywhere up to a year or until you stop breastfeeding for your hormones to be regulated to a stable state. So whenever I'm referencing postpartum, I'm simply referencing the hormonal period that is post-birth and the fluctuation in that experience. It does have a physical component. It does have a physical component to it as well. Like I did have, you know, and this isn't at all to diminish the physical component to it, because there is a part of the postpartum period that is incredibly physical, no matter how you gave birth. We also just learned how to scream, whether you got a cesarean or you did a vaginal delivery, whether your birth was according to your birth plan or whether it was traumatizing. The postpartum period is just a period of time post birth. My postpartum experience has been You gonna let mommy finish? You gonna let mommy finish? No. If I had to describe my postpartum experience, I would say that it has been intense, right? So whenever I'm saying, oh, I'm postpartum, I'm specifically just saying I am post-birth, and just wanting to acknowledge that that is still a separate experience from me just feeling like my normal self. So for example, when I'm talking about food or I'm talking about my energy and I'm like, man, I'm postpartum, that is just me trying to remind myself the reason why I can't focus, I don't have the physicality that I would normally have, is because I'm in a very specific period of time post-birth that I don't have as much management, control, regulation as I would prefer. There's also something called postpartum rage, postpartum anxiety, and postpartum depression. And the way that my hormones were fluctuating, I experienced more postpartum rage than I did going into postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety. There was a little bit of postpartum anxiety, but my experience in terms of peaks and plummets in my hormones manifested more as postpartum rage than the sadness or the anxiousness. And that is still very difficult to deal with. It's difficult on me just in terms of like my stress and my blood pressure and my body. It's difficult on my partner. It's difficult on the baby, because like anything could be just like the most upsetting thing to me in all the land. And it's not like once I'm upset, I'm aware that I'm upset and then I could calm down. It's like, no, I'm livid, and I'm going to be livid for an extended period of time. And so going from 0 to 100 like that is very dysregulating, because like once you're up there, like there was literally nothing that I could do logically. In those moments, there was literally nothing that I could do logically or physically that could bring me down from like the rage that was surging through my body. And so it became a matter of like trying to do things around our home, or trying to do things that would help me to eliminate the rage. And be honest and transparent, when the postpartum rage was first showing up, I fully blamed Shanquise. Like I fully blamed him. And in my mind, I'm like, he's not doing enough. He's not doing it right. He's not like right. Like, and I didn't understand that because of the fluctuation in my hormones, my ability to see him, my ability to understand what he was doing, what he wasn't doing, my ability to even register kindness was just not there, because my level of irritation, my irritability, my overwhelm, like whether it was like to touch, to sound, to whatever, like the hormonal imbalance was putting me at the top level of anger. So if you're wondering also too why I'm not interrupting her, is because I want her to be a talker, and this is the beginning of talking. So there's a reason for this. Like, obviously I would prefer for her not to be screaming, but this is all just communication, and I just prepared myself for it, right? And the priority is for her language development, not for me to record this video, even though I'm going to get this video out. What's happening? What is the baby doing? What is the baby doing? Do you want to eat? You want to try that? Okay, let's. Okay, so my postpartum experience has been one where I've had the, just regular like 6 to 8 weeks of healing my uterus and the like trying to recover physically. But I've also had the hormonal fluctuation, and mine continues because I am exclusively breastfeeding. I have had the hormonal fluctuations that have resulted in me experiencing postpartum rage. So until I'm done nursing, and maybe in another video, if you guys have questions about that, like we can talk about the hormones that are going through my body to continue to produce milk, because me saying I'm postpartum will be something that I will continue to say until I'm done nursing, until the hormones that produce milk with my body, the hormones that turn the food that I eat into nutrition for my daughter, until those hormones are gone, I am in a state of postpartum. And it means that I need to be more mindful, thoughtful, and intentional about how I treat myself physically, mentally, and emotionally, because I don't have a full human's capacity to be able to recover in the way that I would if I wasn't postpartum.